This is the Monty Gymnasium at Bridgewater-Rainham Regional High School, and more importantly, this is the Division I state tournament. This is a round of 32 matchup. The BR Trojans hosting the Lawrence Lancers. I'm John Luck with Skip Crossman. And Skip, we've talked about games like these over the past couple months, but for the BR Trojans, go time is now.
Go time is now. BR's problem is they haven't played in a while, so they got in some practice luckily before the game. Luckily, Lawrence was a little bit late, so gave them even more time to practice. But these first round games have been trap games in the past for Bridgewater-Rainham. So make sure they don't overlook Lawrence in their record and come out ready to play.
We'll talk about the timing aspect of this game as we go on here. Quickly, though, the starters for Lawrence: Lennon Diaz, Jonathan Perez, number 5, number 11, Aiden Torres, the player to watch, number 14, Prudence Cajico, and number 15, Jades Ferrer. Meanwhile, for the BR Trojans, number 23, Lee Williams, going to tip it off, and the Trojans win the tip. Kason Folk. Back to Williams. As you heard Skip mention, the first round has been an issue for the BR Trojans. If you go back to last year, taking on Methuen, the Trojans did win that game, but for much of it, they were down by double figures as Folk pulls up for the mid-range J to get things going.
That's a good sign, Folk starting out one shot, one score.
Kason Folk averaging 15 points a game over the last 5 regular season games for the Trojans. Turnaround mid-range, too strong for number 11, Aiden Torres.
Tyrell comes away with the ball, BR. BR's got a market height advantage.
There's that tricky defense for the Lancers. On the dive, blocked by Williams.
Lee Williams used his size there to take away the layup.
Out of the way.
Oh,
and
got a travel called.
Called for steps. Lawrence coming into this matchup. We did talk about BR not playing in a couple of weeks, but Lawrence did play a preliminary round matchup, defeating Billerica 43-35. Lancers finished the regular season 11-10. This is a team that in the past has won as many as 20 games, as, again, traveling call this time on Jonathan Perez. Last year only had 5 wins.
Yeah, BR's schedule is a little bit more upbeat or a little bit more high. Lawrence plays in that Merrimack Valley area. Central Catholic is probably the biggest team up there. Andover is always good, but BR's overall over the season has a tougher conference. Inside
to Jackson, who got the start. Picks up another pair there for the BR Trojans. And for BR, they finished the season 16-4, the second straight season they finished with that mark, but they finished the season 3-2. Losses to Brockton and Attleboro. That lost to Attleboro in the Bombardier tournament. That takes place during February vacation. 3 misses the mark into the hands of Cam Santos as we're 90 seconds into this contest.
Good thing BR's shown some good rebounding ability here. Lawrence has been one and done, no second shot, no second chance opportunities.
Jackson on the drive over his man, and he'll go to the line.
He wanted that roll.
Foul's going to go on Aiden Torres. And we can see Mike Isola, the Lancers head coach, maybe able to hear him in the background, telling his star player what to do on defense as Jackson's at the charity stripe. Mateo Jackson, a sophomore forward, has really come into his role here for Doug Alves and the BR Trojans over the past month or so.
Yeah, BR starting 3 forwards and a sophomore and junior. This is the second.
On the drive through traffic, it rolls out. Offensive board goes to the Lancers. Quick pass to the corner. 3 into the hands of Williams. Terrell going to pick up the pace for the BR Trojans. Spins away from his man on the drive. That one's going to bounce out, but he'll go to the line. Second foul on the Lancers. Check that, the 3rd foul. Actually, nope, that's going to be the second team foul, but the first one on Jades Ferrer.
Nice soft touch.
Talked about one of those losses for the BR Trojans. That came against Brockton. In that game, they shot 10 for 24 from the free throw line in a 7-point loss.
That's usually a recipe for disaster when you're shooting 10 for 24.
As a Celtics fan, I can tell you that is typically the case. Torres takes it up for the Trojans, guarded by Folk, double teamed. That allows a free man to break free. That's Prudis. Kahiko getting the first points for Lawrence here tonight. Terrell to the corner for Santos, lets his man fly by. Short on the three. And Ferrer gonna pull it up for the Lancers. Quick three on the way. As Lawrence having a hard time finding the basket over the first 3 minutes of this one.
BR's controlling the boards, what they need to do.
Top of the key for Jackson. BR coming in as the 6th seed in the Division I state tournament. Championship aspirations for this squad, especially if you talk to the senior leadership as a sophomore forces his way in.
Nice bucket there by Mateo.
Early 5 points for Jackson. Perez. Inside of Torres. Aiden Torres averaging 25.5 over his last 5 regular season games. Gets his first points in front of Red Nation. Torres can get it going. He's had a 40-point game and a 42-point game this season.
You were saying earlier he's averaged 22 points a game over this season.
Folk steps in. Too strong, and coming up with it is Perez. How about Lawrence just darting down the court, pulling up for 2 is Lennon Diaz, number 3. Folk corner for Santos, tries to triple again, rattles out into the hands of Ferrer and get a foul. Looks like it'll go on Jackson. I mentioned Lawrence finishing the regular season 11-10. They actually had to go on quite the stretch here, winning 3 of their final 4 regular season games just to qualify for the preliminary round. Of course, you have to finish with a 500 or better record, and they just squeaked by that with that last stretch of 4 games.
3:42 to go, 9-6 BR advantage.
Torres double teamed. It's number 22, Ronnie Vizcaíno, the first substitution for Lawrence. That one almost turned over as the bodies hit the deck.
Traveling, going to be a traveling call. If you sat up, that's one thing. When you turn over, roll on the ground, they're going to call traveling that all the time.
As Mike Isola chatting to the official in front of the Lawrence bench.
Jack Lambert's checked in the game for BR.
As has Logan Tripp.
Usually their first 2 subs off the bench.
One thing we did notice before the game, Skip, is the fact that their hot shooter over the past few games, Aiden Pyers, not on the bench, not on the floor, as Lee Williams will go to the line. That will be the 3rd foul for Lawrence. And the foul
Number 5, Perez.
On Perez, his first.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well if Pyers is out for more than this game. If it's one game and BR in the preliminary round will be fine. Well, in this first round, they'll be fine.
And you talked about it a little bit, the fact that Lawrence came here. The game was actually pushed back about a half hour, 35 minutes. And this game was already pushed back 2 days because of the blizzard. So right now, the MIAA trying to shoehorn these games in as quick as possible. The winner of this game may realistically play in less than 48 hours as Williams hits 1 of 2. This game is supposed to take place on a Thursday night, instead on a late Saturday afternoon as Torres hits the fall away. BR started off on a 9-2 burst, but Lawrence has scored 6 quick points here, so 10-8 inside of 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter as Williams breaks free from the free throw line. Soft touch won't go. Vizcaíno with the board. Torres guarded by Tripp. Finds his spot, blocked by Williams.
Williams has been immense under the boards, on the defensive boards. At least 3 rebounds and a block right there.
And you talked about maybe the biggest aspect of this game, the height advantage for the BR Trojans, is really they had number 14, Prudence Kahiko, and Lambert trying to get a three, can't get it to fall. This is a rather short Lawrence team, except for, as I mentioned, Kahiko. Looks like everybody maybe 5'7", 5'8", give or take.
Is it 14 on the foul? Yes.
That is the case, so Kahiko gets whistled for his first, and he'll take a seat. And Diaz checks back in for the visiting Lancers. Foul stays on the floor as Santos tried to split the defense. And the foul will go on Ferrer. That should be his second, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Cam Santos at the line. Mentioned Case and Folk averaging about 15 a game over his last 5. Santos averaging a little bit higher, closer to 16. At 26 in the regular season finale against Stoughton.
Santos' money on the first shot.
Also had a 17.8 rebound performance against Barnstable. That was also the BR senior night. And Santos goes 2 for 2 at the stripe. A 4-point advantage for the BR Trojans in this round of 32 matchup. Nice dish inside. Nice block
play
by Williams.
He's controlling the defensive boards. 2 blocks, 3 rebounds.
Santos had a nice clear lane to the basket, but misses the mark.
I think he was anticipating some contact, which he didn't get.
Torres matched up with Tripp. Torres forcing his way to his spot. Count it and one. And the foul will go on Tripp. Aiden Torres, the regular season finale, 25.7 rebounds against Worcester North. Got the point after there. 7 points in this first quarter. He's doing everything possible to keep Lawrence afloat here. Short on the 3 for Santos. Jack Lambert picked up by Vizcaíno, surveying the offense. Final 75 seconds of this first quarter. Folk looking for some help. Pulls up just inside the 3-point line, too strong. Poked out. It'll be Lawrence basketball.
Tyrrell will check back in and Logan Tripp will sit. So 4 of the 5 starters for BR are in the game.
BR keeping 2 people on Torres this entire first quarter. That leaves a man wide open for 3. That is Diaz, who has something to say on his way back. 5 points here in the first. And Lawrence with their first lead of the game. They were down 9-2. It's now 14-12, so that's a 12-3 burst by the visiting Lancers. And Lambert slid on the floor. We talked about this, I believe, last time you and I did the game, the fact that there is dust on the floor. But I will say, because there's only one game, the people actually did have a chance to take that dust mop out and
clean it up a little bit.
Clean up a little bit. So
the problem is you get so many people crossing the floor coming from the outside. They got all kinds of sand and dirt on their feet. They shouldn't allow them anywhere near the court.
I was afraid to walk on the sideline. Off the side of the backboard, shot clock turned off. Final 20 seconds. And Folk gets fouled. That will stay on the floor. And the foul will go on number 22, Vizcaíno, his first. The issue for Lawrence, I mentioned I'm a Celtics fan, so as a guy that sees Joe Mazzulla, the issue is they're playing defense, but they continuously foul. The key for Lawrence is they're a good defensive team. It's just they foul a lot.
Right.
Hazen Folks finished with 15 points in 3 of the last 5 regular season contests. The second one rattles out. More than enough time here for Lawrence. 12 seconds remaining. Torres, 7 on the clock, takes the 3, too strong. Kason Folk pulls down the board. As the clock expires, Cam Santos beats the clock. A frenetic end to the first quarter for the BR Trojans. And they gave up a 9-2 run, but at the end of the first quarter, they were up 15-14, Skip.
That's an amazing comeback, and you were right from the get-go. Lawrence is out there playing some heads-up defense. They're not tall. They're not going to grab a lot of rebounds, but they're going to cause a lot of disruption on the floor with the dribble. The BR tries to dribble penetrate. They're finding 2 guys on them all the time.
So let's talk a little bit here about the visiting 27 seed Lawrence. I mentioned that this game's starting a little bit later, and we should say that when this game is being recorded, there was a major water main break that shut down I-93. So our suspicion is maybe they took I-93 down. But nonetheless, this is a Lawrence team that very easily could have said, we got our postseason win. You know, just throw the cards out where they lay. But the play of Aiden Torres and also Lennon Diaz, really impressive to see Lawrence come out here and show it all in this first quarter.
It's remarkable for a team that, you know, has to play from behind, a play-in game. They do well. And they're taking a long trip. It was a long trip today, and they're playing against a markedly higher seed in the tournament. But remarkably, too, it's 15-14. I wouldn't have guessed that at the end of the quarter.
This Lancer squad has seen a lot of scoreboard whiplash in that opening round contest against Bill Ricca, where they won 43-35. The Lancers actually started that game on a 13-0 run. Of course, allowing Bill Ricca back into the game, making it a very close contest, and Lawrence did come out with the win, but Lawrence has seen that the scoreboard can turn very quickly as we get set for the second quarter here at the regional. A lot of these students seeing the inside of this building for the first time in a couple weeks after 31 inches hit the Bridgewater area. We're going to do a coin flip to see who's going to do the shoveling if they needed it, if it was going to be Jeff Fowler or Nick Sylvia.
And neither one were options.
No.
Nice hands. Cam Santos breaking up that pass.
Perez, quick pass to Torres. Torres just consistently moves. As I say that, he bowls down Folk.
Folk's not a lightweight either. It takes some good heavy elbows and shoulders to knock him down.
Jackson kicks it back. Terrell for 3. Luke Terrell up to 5 points here in the first half.
Like to see that. His scoring just a plus for BR.
Again, 2 on the ball. And a timeout called by Mike Isola.
So a little payback here. You know, Lawrence coming up with a 2-man trap on the sideline. BR came back and did the same thing. So if BR plays a little bit more tougher brand of defense, and they keep trying this dribble drive penetrate to the basket, they're going to get Lawrence in more deeper foul trouble. And I think BR shooting from the outside will just win out in the end.
Let's talk a little bit about the BR Trojans here. As the Patriot Ledger did an article on the team entering the postseason, Cameron Merritt. They talked to Cam Santos and Kason Folk about the mindset after last season, making it to the Elite 8. Folk saying, quote, "After we lost last year, me and Cam got in the weight room immediately. We tried to get the whole team in there together to just build the chemistry so we could be the best we can be." Santos adding that it made the people who returned to varsity this winter want it more this year. This year, I think we're just as good, if not better, and I think we have a really good chance of winning the whole thing. So this team is not short on confidence.
Absolutely, they were picked by the Boston Globe in the top 10 preseason. So, people recognize that they won a lot of tournaments in between their 25 and 26 seasons. So they come with a little bit of credit.
Mentioned they We're 3-2 over the last 5 regular season games, so perhaps that was what Doug Alves needed to kind of bring his team down a little bit, as this was a team that really lived in the top 4 or 5 of the power ratings for most of this season. Ending the 25-26 campaign as the 6th seed in the D1 tournament. Perez, again giving up a few inches to Folk in height. Inside to Torres, over Terrell. Off the back iron into the hands of Santos and poked away. It'll be a foul on Lawrence.
14.
Prudence Kahiko gets his 2nd foul of the game with 6:44 remaining here in the first half.
Being their only height on the floor, they can ill afford to have him sit too long. And he's not going to the bench.
And fouls racking up here as Perez gets called for his 2nd. Only 3 points scored so far here in the second 8 minutes here. Again, we're minute 13 in, 6:37 remaining. A 3-pointer by Luke Terrell.
Yeah, the only scoring so far in the half. In the second quarter, I mean.
Jackson to the aforementioned Terrell. He was hit as he took the shot, not called, into the hands of Vizcaino. Get a jump ball. It'll stay BR basketball with 6:23 remaining here in the first half.
Awesome job by Mateo Jackson to tie it up.
And again, this is a sophomore forward that we're talking about here, so there's still another couple years here for Jackson on the BR Trojans varsity squad. And they're going to call Perez with a hook. That's his 3rd foul.
2nd in the last 30 seconds.
Benji Flores is going to check in for Jonathan Perez. And Mike Isola makes his way to his senior guard to try and calm him down a little bit. Vizcaino comes away with it. Flores to Diaz. Over and back. I thought for a second Santos might have poked it away, but nonetheless works out great for the BR Trojans.
They're saying it was on the pass back from the wing from Diaz. It was tipped to the back court. So
winner of this game will take on Winchester. Again, most likely within the next 48 hours as Santos misses the mark, and they'll get Jackson with a foul. That's his 2nd. Jackson has 2 fouls for the BR Trojans. Tripp has 1, and that's it. We'll see Logan Tripp check in for Jack Lambert. Jackson came out for Lee Williams, who's had a couple blocks, and Terrell comes up with the ball as Flores fell asleep on the trip up the court. Volk back to Terrell, tries the 3, makes the 3. 2nd 3-pointer for Luke Terrell.
6 points in this quarter alone. Going to call for a poke.
Looks like BR on a 9-0 run going back to the end of the first quarter. This is the last thing Lawrence wants to see coming in here, those long stretches without points. Really started the game off, allowing a 9-2 start for the BR Trojans. Vizcaino inside by himself. Gets the opening tally for Lawrence here in the second quarter. Terrell pulls up for the mid-range. Poked around, Flores comes up with it. And I think they'll get Terrell with the foul.
Either that or 3. Oh no, get it, Terrell, you're right. It'll be his 2nd foul.
So he matches Mateo Jackson. Both teams, 3 fouls aside here in the second quarter. Inside the final 5 minutes of the opening half. Nation gets behind the hometown team.
Nice
Too
tip.
hot of a pass.
Nice tip by Santos.
And Vizcaíno pokes it away. Folk to Lambert. Off the curl on the drive. Takes the hit, and he'll go to the line. He'll get Benji Flores with the foul. Jack Lambert, another one of the 6 seniors that were recognized on senior night a couple weeks ago. And got the spot start for Doug Alves as he went with the all-senior starting lineup. A lot of players like Fritz Fleury and Thomas Manning to get the start. Second one goes for Lambert. His first point of the night. A 6-point advantage for the hometown team.
Lawrence has only scored 2 points in this quarter.
Vizcaíno blocked by Tripp.
Nice athletic move.
And they'll get Tripp on the quick foul there. But going back to your point, if I'm right in the first quarter, I think Lawrence only scored 2 points in the first, 4 or 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, they came back and scored at the end, you're right.
They said his name, and he appears on the floor, Thomas Manning. He'll come in for Logan Tripp. As Tripp picked up his second foul. Folk on Torres. Vizcaíno trying to create some space on the floor.
Yeah, he'd look more like a running back on that play.
Pulling up for 3, rolls out. Vizcaíno and Santos are fighting for it. It'll be BR basketball with 3:52 remaining here in the second quarter.
Not a lot of scoring, only 7 points by BR, but Lawrence is not helping their cause at all, only 2.
As Case and Folk hit on the drive. Foul goes on Diaz, his first. And we mentioned at the top here, because of that blizzard that hit the Northeast, Lawrence has only played 1 game over the past 2 weeks. BR, this is their first game since, President's Day? So we were kind of curious to see what the rust situation would look like on both squads.
Folk makes the first shot.
We did see BR warming up close to 2 hours before the scheduled tip of this game. Add on another half hour as Lawrence was stuck in traffic. And Folk goes 2 for 2 on that trip. Mentioned the free throw woes for the BR Trojans against Brockton earlier this season. Pretty good from the charity stripe so far today. Torres fighting his way, banks it home. Aiden Torres up to 9 points in this one, half of Lawrence's points. Santos to Folk. Cross-court pass for Manning. Misses the mark into the hands of Williams for the second effort. Count it, and 1.
Lee Williams with a nice strong move to the basket, gets the rebounds and banks it in.
A foul will go on number 35, Mason Ventura, the lone freshman for the Lancers. As William hits the point after, it's a 9-point lead for BR. A stark contrast to last year's opening round matchup for the BR Trojans as they were down by 10 to a 25 seed for most of the game. Here's Folk looking for the contact, takes a shot, And misses the mark, and he'll get called for the foul as he poked it away. Kason Folk sees himself as a real leader of this team.
That's his first foul of the game. He's played a lot of minutes to only pick up one foul. He's been pretty aggressive, too.
Certainly wears his emotions on his sleeves. Aiden Torres named to the Merrimack Valley All-Conference team as he hits both shots. And really put up
11 points for the game so far for Torres.
He's put up video game-like numbers through most of this season. Has just not been able to find the help offensively. Stays BR basketball. I think that's what maybe makes the BR Trojans so dangerous as teams plan for them, because you have the likes of a Cam Santos, Kason Folk, obviously Lee Williams defensively. Santos misses it, as does Folk, but there's not really a true number one shooter on this BR Trojans roster.
Yeah, they spread their offense around quite a bit, and defensively too, they each take their own cues and they play well.
Torres thought about the three, sidestep, takes it, and misses. As we go inside the final 2 minutes of the second quarter, Lambert picking up the pace, trying to muscle his way home. Second effort doesn't go, and the foul on the shot. In what's been a very physical game between these two teams. Foul goes on Vizcaíno, his second. Lambert 1 for 2 on his last trip. As he misses the first, Lambert, as I mentioned on senior night, signed on to play with the University of New England. Certainly will help their football program as he lit up the football field here at the regional over the past couple seasons. Goes 1 for 2 again.
Is that a main program, John?
University of New England, I believe so.
Yeah.
We'll have our stats guy, Nick Sylvia, check it for us.
I'm sure we'll know by the next game.
3 on the way. Rolls out. Torres comes up with the board. Again, putting 2 on the ball, but he muscles his way in for the deuce.
Nice heavy work by Aiden Torres there.
BR looking to close the second quarter out strong, much like they did the opening quarter. .15 on the shot clock. Santos guarded by Torres. Off the fadeaway.
Nice
bounces
roll.
in.
Got the roll.
Lee Williams, 6 points. As we go inside the final 60. A game that's featured back and forth momentum for both sides. Again, sliding Diaz in his bright orange sneakers. 10 on the timer. To Ferrer. Gotta get something going here. Off the spin, was looking for the foul. Instead, just an ugly, ugly turnover for the Lancers.
Not a very good shot either.
So BR can hold on for the final shot of the first half. Folk guarded by Diaz. Manning pulls up for the jumper, gets his own board, can't get it to go. As the clock expires, good if it goes, and a miss right in front of Red Nation. And a second quarter that saw Lawrence score only 8 points. That is the deficit for the visitors here, 30-22 skip. The BR Trojans, there was some questions as to what this team would look like coming out of a close to 2-week break, but we're seeing that it took a while for some rust to get knocked off, but this is the same BR Trojans basketball team a lot of people have thought about since November.
Exactly, knocking the rust off and getting some points and getting some consistent scoring over 4 or 5 players.
It's the round of 32. The chase for the championship is on. And the BR Trojans in front by 8. We'll have the second half for you coming up after this on BTV.
I understand. I know it's not your typical resume.
Okay, well.
But candidate. But I've been working double shifts just to pay for books. I've been raising my 2 little brothers. I'm determined, driven, motivated. Isn't that what you're looking for?
Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
No gain without sacrifice, no growth without pain.
This is the Monty Gymnasium at Bridgewater Rainham Regional High School, and more importantly, this is the Division I state tournament.
So I'm reaching towards the light. Now that this moment's come around, I'm taking a chance tonight, and there is no way I'm backing down. I put it all on the line.
As the clock expires, Cam Santos beats the clock.
Lay it on the track that I put it all on the line. I put it all on the line. I put it all on the line.
The chase for the championship is on. Halfway home in this round of 32 matchup in the Division I state tournament in the MIAA, the BR Trojans with a 30-22 lead over the visiting number 27 seed Lawrence Lancers. John Luck, Skip Crossman back here with you. And Skip, it's been an ugly game for Lawrence, but BR has come out shooting lights out in stretches of this contest.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic here. We're looking at Lawrence. A lot of people are touching the ball. Only 4 people have scored. Diaz with 5, Torres with 13, Cahuzo with 2, and Vincano for 2. John for BR.
Torres adds on a 3. Luke Terrell, team high 8 points. Santos 6. Mateo Jackson has 5. Case and Folkley Williams, each with 4 points of their own in the first half.
Who scored that 3?
As Aiden Torres got the scoring started in the third quarter, Lee Williams looking to answer, comes up short into the hands of Kahiko. BR's had 9-2 runs, an 8-2 run in the first half. But it's Lawrence coming out with a score to open things up. Blocked by Terrell, poked away. Trojans have numbers back the other way if they hurry up. Santos inside the full, count it, and 1.
Nice aggressive move. Santos realized he had a player under the basket. Folk was the player. He scores an easy bunny and comes back and has a foul shot. Torres picks up the foul.
That is his second, the first foul for Lawrence here in the third quarter. As Folk hits the point after. Has 7 points now with 7 minutes straight up to go in the third. Again, the winner of this game will take on Winchester in less than 48 hours. Folk, nice handle. Folk, nice finish.
You saw that coming.
Torres looking to get some of that back. Rolls out into the hands of Cam Santos.
Got an outlet pass. Nice pass from Folk to Santos.
Blocked by Torres into the hands of Jackson, and he'll go to the line for the and one.
Two out of three consecutive trips down the court, and BR's got a chance to have two 3-point plays with Jackson and Torres. Jackson and Falk, sorry.
Foul going to go on Kahiko, and this is going to be a very ugly huddle here for Lawrence, as a timeout has to be burned by Mike Isola just a minute and 39 into the third quarter.
That's Kahiko's third foul, too. So that doesn't help the cause, seeing he's the only height on the floor.
Lawrence just seems like they're an isolated team. They have a top scorer in the likes of Aiden Torres. They have the height in the terms of just really Prudence Kahiko. You know, they have the speed in the likes of Jonathan Perez or even a Lennon Diaz when they're not in foul trouble. But as we talked about for the BR Trojans, they have a little bit of everything, which is what has a lot of people making them one of the top teams in the state in Division I. BR started the game on a 9-2 run. Lawrence came back and actually took the lead for a couple minutes in the first half, but BR stepped on the gas and had another 8-2 run. Got an 8-point lead to end the first half, and right now up 37-25.
So the original starters for BR are on the floor. And Jackson with a chance to make it a 3-point play. He does.
Really important here for the BR Trojans if they can get a good lead here to try and rest some of their big players in terms of Kaysen Folk or Cam Santos, Luke Terrell, with another game coming up in less than a couple days as Torres short on the three. Top team in Division I, Central Catholic, moved on after a win against Natick last night. Inside to Jackson, fights his way for the two.
Jackson picking up some of that NBA move with the hand check to hold his defender away.
5 points for Jackson in the third, 5 points for Kaysen Folk in the third. Nice dish for three. Bounces out. Santos with the board. This one's starting to leak away here for Lawrence. And Kaysen Folk called for steps. He brought up the NBA. He thought he was in the NBA when he got like four steps leading into the three.
He thought it was LeBron. He gets an extra step all the time.
Oh, don't get me started on LeBron or Giannis when it comes to traveling. 5:27 to go. A 15-point advantage for the BR Trojans.
That's the largest lead of the game, right?
Sounds right to me. Nice dish inside. Vizcaíno picks up the deuce. So far, BR has outscored Lawrence in the third, 10-5. Williams looking to add on, comes up short.
A little bit of miscommunication. Perez was throwing, but number 15 wasn't receiving.
A little malfunction at the junction there for Jadace Ferrer.
He was clearly going to the basket thinking he was going to get a lead pass, and it was passed behind him into the stands.
If you're just joining us, this contest delayed a couple days due to the blizzard that we had here in Massachusetts, and also delayed another 35 minutes as Lawrence was stuck in traffic getting here to the high school. BR trying to beat the zone shown by the Lancers. Turnaround, Jay goes for Jackson. That's a difficult shot for a sophomore forward.
Made it look easy. Nice play by Luke Terrell there, breaking up the pass.
Folk up, under, misses. Jackson there for the putback.
Jackson better be paying Folk some royalties here. He's benefited on 2 plays from him. He has 9 points in this period alone.
Am I crazy to say that Mateo Jackson could be the key to the BR Trojans making some hay in this Division I tournament?
In this game so far, yeah. I mean, he's been offense. He's been broken up a lot of plays. Him and Lee Williams have controlling the boards. So, you know, offense, defense, they made a difference so far.
Mentioned the top team in Division I. Central Catholic moves on in the D1 tournament. They'll take on St. John's, one of a handful of upsets in the playoffs so far. 17 over a 16 seed. Looks like a lot of the other teams here making chalk. Number 2 seed Andover moving on, winning by 13 over Belmont last night. Albro moved on to 17 seed. Number 3 Needham playing number 30 Barnstable as we speak.
I had the chance to talk at halftime with Dan Buron, the former athletic director, and Larry Fisher, the former BR boys basketball coach. They both said hi to Nick Sylvia. Didn't say hi to Jeff Skip or John. So.
No, we're just a door compared to Nick Sylvia here.
They were wondering if Nick was controlling the whole operation. We said yes, he was.
BTV Chief of Security Nick Sylvia joining us up here at the track. Nice ball movement here by Lawrence coming out of the timeout that BR took. Poked away. It'll be BR basketball.
Yeah, nice defense there by BR. They tipped it off Torres's leg, and next thing you know, it's a turnover, BR ball.
This is a team with leadership that is certainly familiar with the postseason chase. As we talked about last year, Case and Folk going inside, kicks it back. Terrell, top of the key, 3, short into the hands of Lambert, missed the up and under.
I think he's a little too far into the basket for that.
Torres on the drive, too hot of a pass for Kohiko. It'll be BR basketball with 3:15 remaining in the third.
17-point advantage for the Trojans.
Trojans last year making it to the Elite 8 in Division I before losing to Franklin. Mentioned this BR squad last year taking on Methuen. That was a interesting contest. A 25 seed nearly came up with the upset, up by 10 for most of the game before BR stormed back. How about that nice little delayed shot for Jonathan Perez getting his first points of the night. Terrell to the corner for Santos. Inside for Jackson, takes a hit, gets the 2. 11 points for Mateo Jackson in the third quarter.
Again, another assist, but he's near the bucket. He has a chance to make another 3-point play.
16 points on the night. Again, for the sophomore forward. Misses the point after, but nonetheless an impressive third quarter for Mateo Jackson as he puts the BR Trojans in front by 17 inside 2.5 to go in the third. Vizcaíno can't get it to go. Case and Folk with the board. Manning inside to Jackson, poked away. Case and Folk comes up with a loose ball on the drive, trying to create space. It'll be Lawrence ball as they need to score some points here to end the third quarter. You don't want to go into the fourth quarter down 20.
And Mateo Jackson and Case and Folk just playing on both ends of the court.
Case and Folk takes a seat for Logan Tripp. Dicey pass through traffic. Perez on the drive. Getting another pair there. Up to 4 points in the third. 4 points on the night for Perez, who's been plagued by foul issues for most of this game. Jack Lambert fighting through the contact and the tough defense. Gets it back. Takes the hit.
He had more
turns
contact.
it over.
He had more contact on that play than he had in some football games.
They say you can't cross sports when it comes to broadcasting.
I tell you, there was a lot of body contact to have no foul called.
Getting back to something we talked about in the first half, I did find out University of New England, located in Biddeford, Maine, and much like Boise, they have a blue football field up at Blue Storm Field. As Aiden Torres picks up his second three of the third quarter. Has 19 points and a foul called on Lawrence. That'll go on Lennon Diaz, his second. Right now for Lawrence, Jonathan Perez in foul trouble. He has 3, as does Prudence Cahiko. Meanwhile for the BR Trojans, Luke Terrell, Mateo Jackson, Logan Tripp all have 2 fouls apiece. Last minute of the third quarter. Trojans looking to add on to their lead. Poked away. There's that defense that you and I talked about before the game. A very handsy basketball team, Lawrence.
Yeah, the BR players, the tall players can't afford to put that ball down near the ground. They're going to keep it up high.
Quick pass to the corner for Lambert. Misses the 3. So Lawrence can hold on for the last shot of this third quarter, but they need points in a hurry. To the corner for the triple for Lennon Diaz. 8 points. His first score of the second half. Comes with 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
They're down to a 9-point advantage for the Trojans.
Diaz favoring that left shoulder, holding it right now. To the corner. Clock at 2. Santos fadeaway. Too strong. The BR Trojans were up by 8 at the half. They're up by 9 at the end of 3 in this round of 32 matchup in the Division I boys basketball tournament. And Skip, I want to get back to that 3 by Lawrence there. That's a very big 3 because mindset-wise, that takes you from a double-digit deficit now to a single-digit deficit. Yeah. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but from the mindset, that's 3 possessions if you can hit threes, which Torres has.
Considering BR had Lawrence by 17 points at one point.
I mentioned the Patriot Ledger article written by Cameron Merritt before the postseason began. He talked to Doug Alves about this team entering the tournament, his BR Trojans, saying, quote, "I feel great with this group, very confident. I think we're in a great spot. We just need to work on X's and O's in terms of execution, but I feel like we're in a good spot." I mentioned the last 5 regular season games, the BR Trojans finished 3-2, but it looks like this is a team here that's showing a little more focus on both sides of the ball.
So BR looks like they're coming out with all of their starters from the beginning of the game. All the starters are back on the court. Start of the fourth period, and it's 46-37.
BR was up by as many as 18 in the third quarter. Lancers cut that in half. Now a 9-point advantage for the hometown BR Trojans, the 6th seed. Well, the winner moving on to take on the 22 seed Winchester, who pulled off an upset over the 11 seed Lexington last night. And we are planning to have that round of 16 matchup covered here on BTV. Kick back to the wing for Williams, misses the triple. Picking up the pace is Diaz on the drive, takes the contact, misses the shot.
Nice deflection by Lee Williams again.
Cutting through traffic, Mateo Jackson's on a mission here in the second half. 13 points for Mateo Jackson in the second half so far.
First points of the period for the Trojans.
Perez matched up with Terrell. Trying to break free. Nice dish inside for Torres. Maybe too hot of a pass. Turnaround, misses the mark. As Mateo Jackson will get a rebound. Santos guarded by Kuhiko. Folk catches the line drive pass, gets the two.
Been quiet for the last few minutes. He comes back with a nice bucket.
14 points unofficially for Case and Folk. (13) the advantage for BR. A three on the way, too strong. And get a foul on the floor. Looks like it'll go on Jackson. He's begging for it to go on anybody but himself. That'll be Jackson's third with 6:03 remaining in regulation. Perez to inbound to Torres. It's been a great one-on-one matchup between Folk and Torres. Shakes off his man off the front iron. Williams with the board.
Lee Williams again working on those defensive boards. He's been the man for BR today.
Couple blocks as well. Looking to add a three. No, Terrell drives by out of nowhere. Jackson,
What
of
else?
course he hits that.
You expected something else?
Mateo Jackson, the man of the night for the BR Trojans.
Anytime he's within six feet of the basket, he's going to put one up. And so far in the second half, he's been lights out.
20 points for Mateo Jackson in his first postseason game. You have to wonder for Doug Alves, is there a point here where you think about pulling some of these players? Because something to think about here is that these games are kind of consolidated with the scheduling issues now, with the snowstorm kind of bumping games around. Is there a point here where Alves maybe just says, you know what, we need to save Mateo Jackson, we need to save Case and Folk, Lee Williams, and the list goes on?
You know, a 15-point advantage halfway through the period, less than halfway through the period, 5:33 to go. And you see the way Lawrence scores, they're fast and furious. So I'd say we got to get within the 3-minute mark before we start looking forward to the next round.
Kind of show a better example of what Skip's talking about. BR had a 9-2 run and an 8-2 run in the first half. There was a point when Lawrence actually led this game in the first quarter.
Right, they had a 2-point advantage, wasn't it? 14-12 or something?
I believe so. How about Vizcaíno? Nice handle. Traffic under the basket. And judging by the reaction, I'm guessing it's going on Jackson.
That'll be his fourth.
And maybe that's what Mike Isola was talking about in the huddle. Take the ball at Jackson, make him think on his feet, and have him pick up those fouls, because now Doug Alves is going to have to pull Mateo Jackson for Jack Lambert.
That's a good switch. Lambert provides some offense. Maybe not be the rebounder that Mateo Jackson is, but he's obviously on par for scoring.
We get a wet spot, and something we've talked about all season long here. They do actually have a dry mop.
But it's ironic that you have to have a coach go out and do it. There isn't a janitor in sight.
It's his time to shine, Skip.
Yeah, that's right. It's his 23 seconds of glory.
Poked away, stolen by Folk. Up ahead for Santos. Williams tried to finish with a highlight, but came up short. Poked away. Folk to Santos by Vizcaíno. Too strong, and they'll get the foul on Folk. That's just his first, I believe.
I have
Actually,
him
a
for
second.
two.
Yep. With 5:02 remaining in the fourth, the clock not Lawrence's friend, down 15.
Diaz is really pushing that ball up.
Perez stopped on a dime, back to Diaz on the far side.
I'm sorry, you're right. Nice play, nice play.
Cahico there to save it for Lawrence, but inside of 10 on the timer. A deep three from the parking lot, too strong. And Santos with the board. Folk with the dunk.
Oh!
Dima Benti smoked the dunk. Terrell will take that, though.
Case and folks said we didn't want 2, we wanted 3.
We've been talking about Case and Folk has been a point distributor. That's all he was doing there as Terrell took the easy 3.
That's Luke Terrell's third three-pointer of the game.
Now an 18-point lead for the number 6 team in the state. Torres over Lambert. Off the back iron, and Vizcaíno with the offensive board. Dumps off for Cahico. And Santos with the steal.
You know, they're not using Cahico to any advantage point. They're giving him these bullet passes 2 feet away where they not leading him with a higher pass so we can do something with it.
Like I said, this is just an interesting basketball team in Lawrence because they have individual players who are good at different things. It's just they don't have that cohesion like BR does.
Yeah, BR definitely has that.
Williams inside of 10 on the shot clock, pulls up and just put a capper on the night.
Nice bucket by Lee Williams. That's his 6th point of the night, but it comes at a good time. It gives you that 20-point advantage with 3:05 to go. And John, you might be right. That's a kind of a point of no return when you're up by 20 points with 3 minutes to go, especially the way that Lawrence hasn't been down the floor and just scoring easily. They're kind of a helter-skelter offense that comes down, runs around, and they're throwing passes willy-nilly across the court. And as I say, at least twice in the second half, they've had some bullet passes to Cahico. And as I say, if they let him up with a high pass, he could have tipped it in. But they're throwing it to him like he's a guard and not helping the cause at all.
Again, this is a Lawrence basketball team that's played 1 game over the past couple weeks. The BR Trojans haven't played since President's Day.
Yep. Look to see within 2 minutes or so. Do you think they'll Doug Alves will get some guys off the bench?
I would think so. This seems like an opportunity here that the players can kind of get their flowers as they get off the floor, get ready for the next game, give a chance for the fans to say thank you, give them a round of applause, and get ready for a round of 16 matchup with the 22 seed Winchester. A game that we're planning on having for you here on BTV. Vizcaíno. This is a shot. Terrell fires it inside for Williams. Gets everything but the bottom of the basket. Mateo Jackson actually is missing shots here in the fourth. Finally gets it to go on the 4th effort.
I think he's just toying with us. Say, watch this, John. I'll get 4 times and I'll still get it.
He's trying to get that double-double. 22 points for Mateo Jackson in his first playoff game. Jason Folk gets the dunk this time. And another timeout by Mike Isola. You can't take them with you, so use them now.
Yeah, you can't buy a vowel with them, so you might as well use those timeouts right now to try to reorganize. And even though you're down by 24, you might want to make it respectable. It looks like a lot of subs are coming in for BR right now, checking in.
Thomas Manning, Fritz Fleury going to check in at the...
Fritz Fleury's in there. Manning looks like he's in the game. Tom Manning.
Couple seniors for the BR Trojans, a senior-laden squad. And this looks like a team for the BR Trojans that's focused on the ultimate prize. Last year, they were just impressed that they got through the round of 32, the round of 16, made the state quarterfinals. But this looks like a team truly on a mission, and we saw it tonight. When they had their foot on the pedal, they hit that gas pedal very hard.
Think of it, since the first half, BR went out with 30 points in the first half. They got 61. They scored 31 points. Lawrence at the same time, over the course of second half scoring, has only scored 15.
And on the other side, while we have a second, how about Aiden Torres playing his last game? Very talented forward for the Lawrence Lancers. Very impressive stats this season. Had a 40-point game, a 42-point game. Helped out in a 3-overtime win over Methuen earlier this season.
Nice play by Josiah Corrett.
Doug Alves going to empty the bench here at the next stoppage. Nice move there, but coming up short. Flurry with the board and turning it over as I say that. Baseline drive.
Shoot the ball.
Vizcaíno with the board. Torres muscles home a 2, perhaps his final points as a Lawrence Lancer. And get a timeout here just to switch players out. Number 13, Nick Capiello checks in, along with number 21, Josiah Montero. Logan Tripp checks back in as well. As the BR Trojans will live to fight another day. What should be their final home matchup against Winchester, as I believe they go neutral court for the quarterfinals. Mateo Jackson, excuse me, that's number 21. That's Josiah Montero. I should have known by the crowd reaction. They've been calling for him the entire fourth quarter. Poked around. Capiello comes up with a loose ball as we go inside the final minute. Tripp, nice turnaround. Jay comes up short. Torres with the board. Comes up empty, and the BR Trojans can run the clock down if they choose, but they turn it over. And that is the story of the night for the Lancers. Poked away. As the Red Nation giving a musical send-off to the road team, and another long trip up the highway for Lawrence, as their season will come to an end after finishing 11-10. The BR Trojans will get their 17th win going back to the start of the regular season. As Josiah Curette will get the final basket of the season for Lawrence. But the story of the moment, the BR Trojans moving on to the round of 16, and their championship hopes remain strong. A 63-41 win, Skip. The story, very simple. Number 2, Mateo Jackson, 22 points, proving that he belongs here in the championship spotlight.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 points in the first half, 17 in the second. So Mateo Jackson came to play in the second half for sure.
At the end of the night, it's a game worth waiting for. The BR Trojans had to wait a couple days after a blizzard, but they come away with a 63-41 win as Red Nation storms the floor and celebrates with the Trojans, who again will face the number 22 team Winchester in less than 48 hours from when we're recording this. And of course, we are planning to have that game for you here on BTV. But in the meantime, I want to thank our cameraman, Jeff Fowler, our audio technician, Nick Sylvia, and for Skip Crossman, I'm John Luck. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.